Hi there. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about how I transfer my sketches to my final paper when working with coloured pencils or markers. Here I have my sketch for my next coloured pencil drawing. I like to do my sketches on cartridge paper, which is pretty cheap and a nice weight for an outline drawing, but isn't as durable or suitable for coloured pencil. The squares on the paper are grid marks, which I often use to make sure that my drawings are accurate. I'll talk about how I grid in a future video. So here I have the sketch on my cartridge paper, and here's the paper my final drawing will be on, which is Fabriano Artistico Hot Press 140 watercolour paper. Even if the cartridge paper was suitable as a final paper, I would probably still want to transfer it onto a new sheet for my final work, as that way I can use grid marks, I can make mistakes, I can erase things without having to worry about any damage I might do to my paper. I've cut my final paper a ½ inch larger, both lengthwise and height-wise. This is because I'll be taping my paper down to a board to work on it, and I like to leave a 1/4 inch border all round for that. So here I'm just going to use some painter's tape, masking tape works just fine too, to attach my sketch to the back of my final paper. That way it's not going to shift around as I work. For the transfer process, I use a lightpad. This is a device that I picked up off Amazon for around £30 I think. I'll put a link to it in the video description. It plugs into a main socket, and then when I turn it on, its surface lights up nice and evenly. It has multiple brightness levels, which is useful for thicker papers. Now hopefully you can see my drawing through the paper here. Even though the watercolour paper is pretty hefty, it's still pretty easy to see through. I have used the lightpad with the heavier £300 watercolour paper, which is so thick it's pretty much heavy cardstock. And while I did manage to trace my sketch, it wasn't very easy. That paper was so thick that it blurred out all the details. Regular £140 weight watercolour paper is a breeze to work with though. So now I'm going to use a hard pencil. I've got a 2H here, and just very lightly trace the outlines of my sketch onto the final paper. I don't want to press hard at all, as I don't want to indent the paper. I just want it to be light enough to see barely, and no more than that. And that's my drawing transferred. I'm not sure if the camera will be able to pick it up properly as the lines are so faint, but it's definitely there. Now, if you can't get your hands on a lightpad, there are a couple of alternatives. Some people use a window to trace using the natural light from outside. Another alternative, which I've never tried, but Lisa from Lacquery Fine Art does, is to use your computer monitor to trace. I'll put a link to her video in the description as well. I like using the lightpad though, as it has multiple consistent light levels. Being in Scotland, natural sunlight is a bit of a rarity here, and I feel it's less awkward than working completely vertically. There's no right or wrong way to do things though, it's all about experimenting and finding what works for you. I'm just sharing how I like to do things. I hope this video was useful for you. If you'd like to see more or be kept up to date with my latest videos, then please do subscribe. You can also follow me on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, where I post regular work in progress updates of whatever I'm currently working on. Hope to see you again soon.